Hey, what's up, guys? Month 6 of the Making an Influencer experiment. So I've realized now, like, taking this satirical character and having him launch a somewhat semi-serious ministry of decentralization is a tough transition to follow. But in this episode, we're going to take a look at the mod manifesto together a little, and I'll share my thinking around this idea. I would also like to take a look at the hero's journey to plot exactly where Bitman is on the story circle, or the hero's journey, if you like. At the beginning of the month, there was like 10 members in the MOD. Now there's 17. I have missed both January and February's congregations, primarily because I hadn't really figured out yet how to put those congregations together in what format. Not technically speaking, but more like sort of how the show would unfold. But of course, I've been working on that. Now I haven't bought myself another month till the next one. I've also been practicing the Decentralize track, the cover of Testify by Rage Against the Machine. So I'm going to be recording that tonight in the friend's studio, and I'll put together like a music video type thing in the same style as Michael Moore did with Rage, and see if we can't get some traction with that piece of content. Anyway, let's jump on in. So, like I said, the mod has gained 17 members in its first month of existence, which I guess is pretty good, really. Not sure who and what and how engaged these people are, but I know this crazy trucker number 2, he is pretty much commenting on everything, which is nice. Or is it crazy trucker number 3? I don't know. Elite Studios is also very engaged, so perhaps I can bring them in and enroll them into the ministry. We'll see how that goes. In parallel, I've been going around BitTubers and trying to find those users or those people that I want to bring on board, and I've been chatting that's like a one-to-one sort of endeavor, so it takes a bit of time, but pretty much been targeting people that are sort of spiritual or African related. So we see, even for feedback, it's useful. So. We've also got these guys over at Bittube Local have put up a map, which is kind of cool and is growing. I think when I got on there, I'm down here in Adelaide, put the link there to the ministry, of course. But when I joined this a few weeks back, there was like three pins, and now there's must be at least 50 or something, which is quite nice. When it comes to fully decentralizing Bitman and taking him only primarily onto BitTube, that's not really been working out. I've still been posting to Instagram and YouTube and tweeting away with bits and bobs. So he has still got one foot in the centralized world, and as we'll look at in a second with the story circle, something needs to sort of break to take the story forward, if you like, to take the character forward. But let's have a quick look at the breakdown of the manifesto, because I did actually do a reading of it here, and I thought it'd be interesting to explain my thinking a little.
I have been working on the Ministry of Decentralization manifesto, and basically I'm going to read the fucking thing for you, because some of you cunts out there just don't like reading or something. So I've put it on the teleprompter here, and I'm basically just gonna summarise it as best I can now. Okay, so let's start with an introduction. The Ministry of Decentralization, formerly known as the Church of Decentralization, will grow to become the world's first damn decentralized autonomous ministry. All persons are welcome to join the congregation regardless of their background or knowledge, and will be encouraged to organise their own congregations once formally enrolled in the ministry. Okay?
So I'll leave it there and you can go and watch the video yourself if you fancy. But essentially we have had a lot of DAOs and DACs and a lot of stuff related to corporations and organizations, and often profit-driven endeavors because of the economics related to crypto startups and the way that they're sort of tokenized. And because there is so much ideology associated with these projects and these tokens, and actually the technology itself has risen to a state of being godlike, I thought it would be perfect or apt to apply a religion. So it was the Church of Decentralization, but church is a heavy word and maybe scares people off. So I went more with ministry, which I hoped would lower the barrier a little for people to adopt some of these ideas. And also, to launch a religion, if you like, on a blockchain is, from what I've gathered, it's kind of outstanding, a little bit unique. And in that regard, I was hoping that once they do start to reach out to press or properly, they might engage a little bit with me if they can see some sort of serious content, even though the character, I guess, is hard to be taken seriously. Like, I'm really relying on the fact that Australia is a fucking long, long way away, and people might not be so familiar with the culture down there. I mean, for example, the word cunt over there is used as a friendly term. They even have GC, which is a good cunt. And up here in Europe, it's viewed as a terrible word. In America, I think it's like been pretty much illegal to use it on television. But so I still believe that this lack of cultural insight from across various parts of the globe might allow for some people to believe in this character a little bit more, because they don't know what's typical behavior down under, only what they've heard or seen online, I guess. Anyway, I would love to do a director's cut where I sort of walk you through that, but we won't do that in this video, perhaps in a future one. So let's take a look at the hero's journey. Status quo was he was an ex-scooter professional and got wrapped up in the Bitcoin bubble in 2017, which inspired him to basically go and get involved. And it was almost like a religious experience for Bitman 360 in a way. So he found this agent character that I developed, like, that's off camera, you never see him. Basically, I just cut my voice in post-production. He moves forward, and then I think he hits this threshold when there's the Get Woke videos that he covered, and he covered himself for the Network movie from the 70s, and I rewrote the script there and performed that, which was kind of fun, but didn't get nearly as enough attention as I would have liked. And that sort of sets him off on this journey of decentralizing himself fully, which he finds with Bittube starts the movement Decentralize Me Too, which is a hashtag campaign, but struggles getting that going, and then begins the Ministry of Decentralization and a group. And the reward, like you can see here, the difference between the purple and the green is the purple is where I thought that's where he is right now. Green is where he might be able to go in the future, seeing as we have like 6 months left, 5 months left. So the world's first dam would be the world's first decentralized autonomous ministry. That's the reward. And it gets very much traction in Africa. And bman takes a few steps back then and sort of releases his sort of participation, if you like. He goes home and he finds himself, and he goes back to bricklaying, basically. This was one cycle, but there is one more here which I developed this morning, which might be a little bit more interesting. Again, we start with him being an ex-pro scooter, so the status quo, lost all his money in Bitcoin 2017. So bang, that's where he's at. And you'll see that in some of his earlier videos, of course. But he becomes inspired by the potential of the technology, and he just finds that he has to become a crypto influencer. So he decides to make regular content and starts talking to crypto Twitter people and try to become influential. He finds this very hard, of course, and sad that the centralized services he's using, and also just general wear and tear from living inside the social media world, which is just 24/7. So he decides to search for something new. He finds Bittubers and begins to build and develop a decentralized land, which is the ministry, if you like, or he builds his church in this new land. But he finds that it's lonely and full of freaks and racists, which kind of is at the moment, but there you go. And he decides to return back to the centralized internet for various reasons, but he can't fully leave this new land of decentralization because he feels like it's part of him now. And so he continues back to square one, if you like. And now he is fully decentralized because he lives his crypto-influential life both in a decentralized and a centralized platforms. So I'm going to do a few more cycles of this. Probably one a day would be good, till the story becomes a bit more clear about where I'm taking him, because my notes at the moment are all over the place, and I feel like he's at an inflection point now where he could go in a number of directions. But I've been watching this show, Mr. Robot, lately, and this character pretty much decentralizes himself towards the end. And yeah, that's a spoiler. I have spoiled it for you, but I think I can do something similar with bman 360, and that would be a wicked way to go out to. So that's something to look at for the next 5 months. But I've been Rich Teller, BitJoin, and thanks for listening. I'll see you next month.